Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the sawmill. I know it's been a day or two, but this is our project today. This is a project the gentleman was doing, and he poured his epoxy. It was in a mold, but the table wasn't supported enough. So it actually bowed, and the epoxy ended up kind of pooling up underneath it, and it really made her crooked. It bowed and it bellied. So today with the Slabmiser, we're going to try and straighten her out some more. It's going to take a few passes, quite a few passes actually. I actually call this a Robo-Slabmizer. When I bought this, I opted for a few more dollars and got it to where it'll automatically go down to the end, slide over about 4 inches, come back, and when it's all done, shuts itself off in one corner. And then I reset the machine, hit the start button, let her go and do her thing. A lot of times that allows me to also run the saw at the same time. So it works out pretty good. As you can see, it doesn't get all the chips off, you know. So it makes for quite a mess. Maybe not as much a mess as it would if you were doing it with a rounder. So trying to contain the mess, that's what we're trying to do. One of the nice things about the Slabmiser is the variable speed of the carriage. When you've got it in automatic mode, you can just run the speed up if it's not doing any cutting. I like to slow it way down when I'm actually cutting. But when it's in the open area like that, it's alright, just fly by it. As you can see, there's several spots where I've already got into it. That just gives you an idea how to flat this is. One of the whole purposes of this video that I want to try to get across is epoxy and the Slabmiser. Epoxy is some great looking stuff when you're doing jobs like this. It looks nice, and you can do a lot with it. You know, this is like a double river tabletop. So you can make some cool looking stuff. But some of the pitfalls of epoxy and the Slabmiser is that I learned the hard way was the shavings. You know, when we're shaving epoxy, it makes long little strings. Well, most of you know that those little strings make falls, and they're kind of soft, and they'll get stuck in the vacuum setup. and that's not fun. So I'll be telling you about what kind of setup I got going on here for removing the shavings. But the Slabmiser with the automatic is a pretty darn good tool. There we go. Cuts itself off. Then I'll bring it back over here to me. And if you notice, I've got a tape measure here that just popped off because it doesn't stay on very well. But what I like to do is line this up where I started. Like this time, I'll start off at 1.5 inches. It just gives me a starting point. And then when I hit automatic, one of the things that I thought was kind of a bad deal is there wasn't much information when I got my Slabmiser about the automatic, how to run it. I'll pop you off the stand here and see if we can show you some things about the Slabmiser. Right here is one of the sensors. I don't know if you all can see it, but there's a little yellow light. That's telling you that you're on your little marker on the inside there, that piece of metal sticking up. But you want to make sure that it's ahead of your marker and that light's not on. Otherwise, when you hit the button to start the automatic, it will not, you're wondering what the heck's going on here, you know. But to reset, what I do, excuse me, is I'll bring it back, set myself up at about 1.5 inches, grab the little thingy here, spin her around. I give it about 1/2 a twist, and as you can read here, a full turn is 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just trying to take off as little as possible. Y'all know that the thicker the tabletop or whatever is what we shoot for, but we want it flat, so that's what we're working on here. So I'm just trying to take off as little as possible, and it doesn't work the cutters as hard when you do. Now, if I had a big shop, I could walk over there and push the orange button for the automatic on the Slabmiser, and well, then it'd take right off. But I don't want to have to walk clear around the table, so when I first got this thing, I modified it a little bit. And being as I work on this side, I went and put myself a little push button over here. Just tapped into that button over there, extended it over here. So all I got to do is push my button on this side, boom, we're off and running. If you notice, above the orange button there, that tells the left and right motor how far you want to go over each time. So it's adjustable that way. I take, probably 4.5 inches. You have the width of 5 inches of cutting. So I like to overlap just a little bit as I go along. And it works pretty awesome, really, I think. This is a 3-phase motor, 3-horse, 3-phase motor. It does sound kind of funky starting it up and getting going, but that's the way it works. It's got a phase converter inside the box. Actually, there's 2 of them. But here again, if we're not cutting, I speed it up. But when we get to cutting, I'll slow her down. You can kind of see we got a little ways to go. There's at least 1/8 of an inch gap there. And just for reference, this had a real bad bow in it. And for the past 3 or 4 days, I did a little skimming, you know, just to open it up a little bit. And then I set a unit of wood on top of it. Probably 1,200–1,500 pounds of wood, just to hold it down, maybe get her to lay down, relax a little bit. Because the gentleman, he already used his router and router table to hopefully flatten the other side. So the wood on the bottom side of this right now is exposed. So by putting the weight on there, it helps relax this top and get it to lay down just a little bit more. And I've found over time, you expose a little bit of wood and the ambient moisture in the air will kind of soften the wood up and relax it just a little bit. So we'll come back after this makes its rounds, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the shaving and how that works and why I'm doing what I'm doing, all of this. Because typically if I'm just doing wood, I run it out of that exhaust unit. So we'll be back after she's done her rounds. Give you a little shot here. Switch over. Off she goes. And for me, I made my own stops because the ones that come have double magnets on there, and they're a lot larger. You can't get in as tight because the way their stops are made, they kind of set over these bolts here, and well, you don't want it hanging out there any longer than you have to, so the closer in you can get to that blade stopping here and going back, the better, I think. That's what I did. Made my own magnets. The magnets that come with it are like super powerful, and you can't hardly pull them off there. So I just went to Harbor Freight, got me some little magnets, and there we went. You can see the gentleman was trying to, he flipped over the piece here and started in, and he had a little malfunction with his router, and well, that's what we're working with. That's almost a 1/4 inch deep, so we got a little ways to go. See, the shop dog is mainly in here. Say hey, Doodles. Well, this is where I keep the switches for my dust collectors or blowers, whatever you want to call it. That's my big one. It's a 220 Rand 3-horse. This one here is for the little guy. It's only 110 2-horse. And when I first put the shop together, that's where I put my blowers up there. Up out of the way, works pretty slick. Shoots it right out the end of the building. But we're trying to separate the shavings, because you'll see here in a second why we don't want those shavings up there in the blower. that plugs up the blower like right now. And that handful there would probably be a half a pass. So you can see in that bucket, oh, it's probably got a quarter in it. But this little separator works pretty slick. I still get some that go through and into the dust collection. Excuse me. I'll take you over there to see what I do for dust collection. I don't know if everybody does it this way or what, but we'll go through to the new wood shop. Been working on this for a while. Hopefully we'll have our laser in here, table saws, and all that good stuff. This here is a barge wagon. That's my sawdust bunker. It's mobile. It's got a hoist under it so you can dump it. And up here, you can see where my dust collection comes out of the building. So I'm going to shut this off for a second so I don't break my neck looking at the camera walking around here. Well, around the back here it looks pretty messy, but I'll tell you what, these large bags, I'm blowing that epoxy dust into these big bags. These bags, you know, we're here in Iowa, and they use what's called cover crop, so it'd be small seeds of, I don't know, rye and whatnot, and they come in these bags, and a lot of times these bags just get tossed. They don't recycle them. Some I assume do, but I came across these bags and it works pretty slick for stuff that you're going to haul to the dump. Typically my sawdust goes into the back of my sawdust bunker or barge wagon, especially when it's right off the mill. Might be a little dark in there, but you can see the sawdust in there. And I'll take that down to my neighbor who's got cattle, and he dumps that out on his sorting floor so the cattle don't, gives them a little bit of traction so they're not slipping and falling down. But by running your epoxy and sawdust together into one of these bags, you can dispose of it without, you know, affecting anybody. So that's how I do it. I blow it right into these bags, and on the end there, I've got a piece of drainage tile that just kind of airs off a little bit so the bag isn't doing all the filtering. It just increases the airflow through the bag. The heavy stuff falls in the bag, stays in the bag, and away we go. So that's how I do my dust collection on the Slabmiser, especially when I'm doing epoxy. If I'm not doing epoxy, if it's just plain old slab, I shoot it right into the barge wagon and things are good. Well, there we go. Get down to the end of it. All left is cleaning up the mess. took a few hours, but that's the way it goes. I did change or rotate my teeth for that last pass. Let's take a look here. See how flat we got her. Lay that straight edge on there, boy. It's flat. So we'll show you the setup. The one thing about the setup on my dust collection is you definitely got to remember there's static electricity. See if we can catch this. Oh, no. Earlier when I went to go do it, there was probably a 2-inch spark. Just grabbed a hold of my finger. So you want to discharge the static in there. I think we'll blow her off, and that way you can get a little better look at her. That epoxy. She came out nice and flat. Got rid of that big old spot there where the router got away from him. Now we'll flip her over, touch up the other side, and she'll be ready to go. So hopefully you enjoyed this little bit of Robo-Slabmizer epoxy. You see how much epoxy come out. Filled that trash can, and I'm kind of curious how much is in here this round. About a quarter. You don't want it to get past there. You make one round, stop, shut everything off, and dump that thing. You don't want to, well, you can see the ladder up there. I had to climb up there once, clean her out, because between rounds I didn't clean out the trash can. So you want to remember to do that. So when it comes to epoxy and the Slabmizer, there's a couple challenges to overcome, but anything's possible. And I'm really impressed with how well this came out. Looks really nice. Well, hopefully we'll put together another video at some point, and till then, have a good one.